morning, good morning, good morning. Soon to be 12 noon here on Thursday. And I am on day 3 of 5 steps to level up your acting career. And as I've posted today, we're going to talk about how to start your acting career off on the right foot. So I'm going to just hang out for a minute while people make their way in. And welcome to everyone who joins me today. I'm going to start by reading an email I just got from an actor, Dimitrios Andreas. Wendy, I want to express my gratitude for you with the way my career is growing. I was in a difficult situation, but you gave me courage and direction. And now I'm looking in the mirror and I'm proud. I'm feeling proud. I am starting to get recognized by others. My dedication is starting to be noticed. God bless you. I hope all the best for you. That is so nice. I love receiving texts and emails and cards from people that tell me how what I'm doing impacts their lives. It's really, really pretty special. So hello, Vincent, Helen Star2, Veronica, Samantha, Tariq. Hi, Tariq. Stacey, Jess. Let's see. I'm going to let people come on in. Tommy, Bryn. Hey, Bryn. So it's good to see everybody. I'm glad that you're all here. We have about 1 more minute before I get started on the content. Welcome to day 3 of steps to level up your acting career. 5 steps. Let's see, what am I talking about today? Let's see. Talking about, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. How to get acting experience, how to get acting clips if you've never even been on camera, things like that. So letting people join. How is everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day. It's Thursday. I had a very busy week of consultations, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now I'm free Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to work on content, to train actors, to work in the winner's circle, actually I'm teaching managers how to manage now, so that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I'm just enjoying life. I hope you guys are living your best life. I know I am. And let's get started on this content. So we have about 50 people in here. Let me just let a few more people climb on in. Hi, Gus Capone, or Goose, Jules. It's good to see everybody. Bree, Shane Santos, Yassine, Thomas Cully, Kimberly Patrick, Clara Chase Richard. You're in school. What school are you in? Brandy Brown, Rosie Lou, Chris Rogers, Karen Godoy, Brandon Smith, Casey Phipps, Alex, Toby, Sharika, Mark, Karen. Lots of beautiful people in here. Actors, my favorite people. Ian, Jessica, Adalgaza. Hey, girl. Yeah, looking forward to advice on small markets or those who have abandoned incentives like Michigan. So let's get started. I've written out what I want to talk about. That way I stay on track. But just so you guys know, over the years, I have helped countless actors book television from scratch. So they came to me with nothing on their resumes, and after working with them for a couple of years, developing their headshots, their acting clips, their resumes, their online profiles, getting them started in their first student films, short films, web series, then feature films, then network television, co-stars and guest stars, and Lifetime movies, and these kind of things. Over the years, thousands of actors I've been training, obviously, over, I think there's 70,000 actors here in YouTube, and in here 60,000 in TMFA. It's been an honor and a privilege and a beautiful opportunity to help new actors get started, which is what I'm passionate about. I just feel like if you have the dream to be an actor, you should have the plan to do it, and it shouldn't just stay a dream, and you shouldn't die with that dream in you. I know that you know, now that I'm a little older in life, you know, I hang out with a lot of people of all different ages, but I get to talk to people that are a lot older. And a lot of them regret their lives not doing what they really dreamed of doing. A lot of them wish they had taken some chances and had followed through on some of their passions. And I just had a consultation with someone who left their job as a doctor and is following through their original dream as an actor. And that's amazing, you know. And I just had a consultation with a police officer who is becoming an actor. Now, those life experiences can be brought into their careers, but it's amazing when you actually do what you're called to do. And those of you that are young and that are doing it, good for you. You're not going to waste a whole lot of time. And those of you that are older, coming into it, or coming back to what you dreamed of, congratulations. It's never too late, and you have the right to follow your dreams. And for those of you who are starting out somewhere in your 20s or 30s, you need all this information. All of you who are new need this information, so let's get started. Today we're going to talk about 3 key steps to getting your acting career started from scratch. That's like, I'm like a chef in the kitchen. I like working with the little original ingredients and starting to bake things, and then what comes out of the oven makes me really happy. So how to get acting experience, how to get acting clips if you've never been on camera, and how to take awesome headshots. So let's talk about taking acting classes. Some of you who are new already know you have to take acting classes. And some of you who are new don't think you need acting classes. It never ceases to amaze me when people think they can just jump in front of a camera and start acting without any experience. That's not how it works. It's 1 in a million. You can quote Jennifer Lawrence as like the only one you can think of, okay? But acting classes are just like an athlete. And like Jack Turnbull in our group always says, you have to train the muscle. Acting is like a muscle, and you have to train it. And that is so true. So if you have no acting experience at all whatsoever, and you're watching me from anywhere in the world right now, the first thing you need to do is take acting classes. That's the very first thing you need to do. Take acting classes. And so what kind of acting classes? There's 5 types of acting classes that you should start with. You need cold reading, scene study, acting technique, scene study, let's see, improvisation, on camera. So let's talk about that again, because I'm thinking so fast. I just like threw all that together without being very clear. The first class you take is scene study and acting. You got to learn what acting is. You've got to learn how, well, what is acting? Acting is finding real emotion inside yourself and applying it to made-up situations. So finding real emotion inside yourself and applying it to made-up situations written by other people, sometimes on a green screen with absolutely nothing behind you chasing you. But the emotions that you feel, the terror, the excitement, all that stuff has to be real. And you have to train to learn how to bring all those emotions out. And sometimes those emotions have to be sheer sadness or just vulnerability. You're so vulnerable. And remember, when the camera rolls and there's 30 people on set watching you, you have to have such a discipline for focus and being able to stay open as an actor so that your emotions can come out without fear, without self-judgment as you're acting, without judging your own instrument, and just being free to express your own emotions in public, in front of people, on the spot, when they ask you to, and they say action. And that's when that's when your skills kick in. That's when the practice you've done kicks in. If you're brand new and you show up on set and you try to get to that place by yourself with no training, it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. So, scene study classes to teach you how to break down a script. Cold reading so that you learn how to make choices quickly without overthinking and being in your head, but really being able to just analyze a script and make quick choices. On-camera techniques, training in front of a camera, learning your camera angles, learning when to move forward in the camera, and just learning how to use the camera to help tell the story. Because you're not just on, if you're being in TV and film, you're not a theater actor, only you're learning to use the medium of camera. And there is a very distinct skill set for that. Improv, you need improv. That helps you listen and react to the other actors instead of just waiting to say your line, So you need improv to help you learn to be in the moment, because you're making up those situations as you go. Nobody knows what they're going to say next. So you have to be very present in this moment and have natural reactions to people. So you got to take improv. And commercial techniques. If you're going to get a commercial agent, you should know how to deliver commercial text. Okay, so you want to be strategic with these acting classes you're taking, because casting directors and managers and agents will want to make sure that you have fleshed out all these skills. They don't want to see partial skills. They are looking for well-trained artists, well-trained, And that means you're going to take a couple of years of really training, sometimes 5 days a week, sometimes every day for a couple hours. Don't think you can do one class a week and then land on a series regular in television. Doesn't happen. So my best advice for you if you're looking for acting classes, and now if you're in a small city, or like Oklahoma City or St. Louis, and that's not a small city, but it's not Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, or Atlanta, the major hubs. But if you're in a smaller city, there are so many local theater groups there, right? Whenever you're wandering around, you'll see posters for theater. You look in the newspaper, you find the theater section, you'll find professional theater. You want acting classes? Go to those theaters, talk to the director there, and ask who they recommend. What acting classes do their actors take in their plays? Some of these people actually teach acting classes, but they will be worth their weight in gold because they know the business, the industry, the area, the community, the city, and they'll help point you to legitimate acting teachers. Also, I always suggest people look on Facebook. So Facebook for me is like the Google. If I was in Oklahoma, I would type in Oklahoma actors. And I know what will come up is Oklahoma, Texas actors. And any state you're in, you can type in your state's name, actor groups, and that will bring up a whole group full of thousands of actors, and ask them who they recommend for acting training, for scene study, for improv, for on camera. They're going to have experience because they've been doing it longer than you, and they'll have some suggestions. And if some of those people are all suggesting the same few people, they've all had good experiences with that person, that's probably the person you're going to go to, or the people or the school you're going to go to, okay? If you're in Alaska and it's really hard to find classes, or let's say you're in another country, you know, I have people that email me from all over the world with questions, and I have people taking my courses from all over the world. If you can't find an in-person class, and that should be your first choice, your in-person class, but if you can't find one, start learning about acting online. Start learning about acting from reading books like Respect for Acting by Uta Hagen, or Building a Character by Konstantin Stanislavski. But there's a website called, let me see, where is it? Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. So you can find good acting coaches that you can work with one-on-one, just like we're having a conversation right now, only you'd have a script in your hand, I'd have a script in my hand, and then we'd be talking about the script. That's the kind of online, in-person training you can do, and there are a lot of actors who train online like that when they can't find local classes. Jack Turnbull offers classes online, Sherry Shaw, Margie Haber. So basically just contact acting schools in LA, in New York, and ask if they do online coaching or online classes, and sign up and start training right in your own home, working with scripts. Let's see. If you join us inside the Hollywood Winner Circle, you'll find an extensive, comprehensive list of every single acting training coach that we've come up with that is amazing, and their contact information. And also, I point actors in the Hollywood Winner Circle to something called iactingstudios.com. iactingstudios.com. I want to make sure I got that right. iactingstudios.com. It's an incredible resource if you're lacking any kind of local acting classes. And inside it, there are tons of legit acting coaches. They're going to give you a 1-minute video to introduce themselves, and then you can take their class. Many of them teach in the big markets. And that's a great way to take classes in between your in-person class, or if you're really hungry about this business like I am, and I can never get enough of the work, of watching the work, of working with actors. You could be up late at night, go to iactingstudios.com and start taking courses there, start learning, fill your spirit with this business. But you should really try to get into in-person classes as quickly as you can. Theater. That's the next way to build your experience. Do theater. Some people say, I don't want to do theater. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But theater is a great way to practice what you're learning in acting class. And you have to practice that, finding those emotions and doing it live on the spot in front of a group of people and making it believable. And it's a really important way to start your acting career. I know when I was a young actor, a singer years ago, when I started in the theater, I was 9 years old. and I did it until I was 23 with a private theater group called Alliance Theater. And it was amazing. I had a great, great experience in the theater, and I highly suggest it. Some of my fondest memories of acting and camaraderie with other actors comes from theater work. Let's see, so how do you find local theater? Like I said before, the posters, the flyers, the newspaper clippings about the entertainment for the week. Go to your local drama schools. Your colleges have theater departments. If you're in college, take your theater classes. If you're in high school, take drama classes there. If they don't have a theater program, man, that's a shame. Try to talk to your, go political if you have to, you know. Try to talk to your state senator and try to get them to pass some legislation to bring drama back into the school systems. Oh my Lord. Okay, so when you're starting out, you can do student and indie films. So people ask, what are student films? Student films are when usually a project that is done by a school, and there's like the dean of the film department, and all of the students that are taking classes there have to create a student film for part of their homework, and sometimes in order to graduate. That's what they're there to learn, how to make films. So they need to hire, they don't hire because they don't pay, but they need to cast actors for their student films. And if they're writing roles that are younger than the actors in college, then they're gonna cast outside of the students. And if they're writing roles that are older than the students that they cast, they're gonna cast adults and seniors for those roles. So that's a great place to get in front of the camera, working for the first few times in your life. Don't expect too much from the student film process because, like the title student film says, they're students. So a lot of their materials are not good enough for a demo reel, even though in exchange for doing student films, they tell you you'll get a copy of your reel. It doesn't mean it's really good for your reel from a business perspective, because you really need to have great footage. And a lot of these student films don't get finished, so you don't get the footage. And if they are, they don't sometimes have sound, they don't have lights, it's not done right. Sometimes you're speaking a great role and the camera's on the other actor, so it's not always good footage for your reel or as an acting clip, but it's definitely a good experience for you and for your resume. What are indie films? Indie films are films that people independently raise money to shoot. So if I shot a short film a couple years ago called Stardust, raised the money myself to shoot the film, that's an indie film. It's not done through a university or a school. And that's a great place to collaborate and work with filmmakers. And a lot of times they send those films to film festivals, and it goes the film festival route, and you get to travel with the film sometimes, or you know, go watch yourself on the big screen. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a great way to start. Let's see. Some high schools have a film department, a video department, so check those out as well. I'm told that there's something called Read It. I always thought it was called Reddit, but you know, Facebook communities and Reddit or Read It, they have a film community. If you type in Oklahoma film actors, you'll come up with a film page, and also you'll come up with, you could look up the film commission in your state. Every state has a government department of film commission. And there's resources. They have a website that links you to sometimes casting notices or people who are in the business or film festivals that are coming up. And so get in touch with your local film commissioners' offices. Let's see. I've covered all that. I've covered all that. Okay, so if you can't find people in your local community, I mean, maybe you live in Alaska and you're like an Eskimo living in an igloo and there's really no one else to play with, that's tough. You might start creating your own content, write your own one-woman or one-man show, and bring all your other friends from their igloos and their villages to come watch your show once a month or whatever you have to do. But start creating your own content. Start writing and shooting your own films. Do stand-up comedy. Reddit. Thank you. Reddit. Thanks for someone letting me know. It's Reddit. Reddit. That's what I thought. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Self-tape acting clips. Okay. A lot of times people who are just starting out in the business don't have an actor's access profile. You've got to have an actor's access profile. And on that profile, you need your headshots, your resume, and your acting clips. You cannot send your Actors Access profile to submit for projects with no acting clips. Because how is anyone going to know if you can act? And there are different levels of ability in acting. Some people suck at acting, and after training, they get really good. Some people, they start out better than others, and after training, they get really good. But there are levels of where you are in your acting ability. And if I watch a monologue or a scene of you, I'm going to know immediately where you are in your acting ability. I'm going to know if it's believable. And I'm going to know if you have the skill that I'm looking for, the level of emotional access, if you understood the scene, if you made strong choices for your character, if you were interesting to watch, if you were just fumbling for lines, or if you were waiting to say your lines, if you really were hearing what the other actor says. I can see it all, and any acting teacher and any agent, manager, casting director, writer, producer, director can see it all from your work. So if you don't have an acting clip to submit yourself to projects with, we can't tell if you can act, and now why do we want to hire an actor we don't even know how well you can act? So your clips are very, very important. And you can start working on clips at home. You don't have to wait until you have student film footage to get clips. You can put up your iPhone on a tripod horizontally, download scenes from SceneBot. That's an app I've talked about before, which has scripts from television. Or if you're a member of showfax.com, there are all kinds of sites from TV shows. Download a script, work on it. That doesn't mean get it and start memorizing it. That means you're going to start answering questions about that scene. What is it about? Who are you? Who are you talking to in the scene? What do you want? And there's like 100 questions you can ask about that scene. And every acting teacher has their own list of questions to help you learn to break down a scene. And then you memorize it. It's easier to memorize the scene once you've answered all those questions because you know what you're talking about. You have things to relate it to. There's so many tools and skills for breaking down a scene that helps you be able to memorize it and personalize it. And that comes from training. Again, you're not doing this without training. You're not going to come into this and tomorrow will be a series regular on your favorite show. And you might not even be cast on your favorite show if they don't cast actors like you. This is a business and they're looking for certain types to fit certain roles and you fit certain types. But we'll talk about that in upcoming training. Right now we're talking about clips. Even self-taped acting clips. That means you on camera with a reader off camera. That will take you leaps and bounds ahead of other actors who don't have footage. And that will take you leaps and bounds ahead of other actors who have bad footage from student films and indie projects and stuff that weren't really good. Actors Access has, what do you call it, an algorithm that people that have no clips attached, their profiles go to the bottom of submissions. And yes, casting can sort that any way they want to, but in general, actors that have an Actors Access with a resume, with headshots and a slate shot, their clips go to the top. And is that another way Actors Access makes money by selling slate shots? Yes, of course. But does it also help your stuff go to the top? Yes, it does. If you understand the business, you can figure out how much of it you want to participate in. If you don't know at all, you don't know, right? Good clips from student films and other on-camera work are great, but if you don't have great self-tapes, it's not good enough. So I always tell people, and I just said this in the winner's circle today, don't cobble stuff together like, this is all I have. I'm going to show this is all I have and put it on your Actors Access. All you have is probably not good enough. You have to be very strategic in your clips. So I'll post an example. Let me post an example right here, right now. Let me see. I don't know, www.resumes.actorsaccess.com/Nate Johnson. I posted it, so it should go somewhere. Nate Johnson's an actor I did consultation with a couple months back. Very, very talented guy. He's like most actors. He started in student films and short films, and he's wants to transition to television. And that is a process in and of itself. And if you don't understand that, it's very, very, very hard to do. But if you know how to do it, then you can do it. One of the things I told him he needs is acting clips. Absolutely needs clips, because the footage he had wasn't strong enough. He hired the production team from one of the short films he was in, the cinematographer, the cameraman, the sound guy, and they came to his house, or a house they rented, I don't know, one location, and shot 17 scenes over the weekend. He paid the production company. He wrote the scenes, but he's a writer, so that's a good thing. If you're not a writer, have someone else write them, or call Nate Johnson. Maybe he'll write them for you. I don't know. He wrote the scenes, and they were short scenes, amazing. Some of them are great. Some of them maybe don't need to be up there, but some of them are fucking great. And they look like they're right out of movies. And he just got signed to an agent because the agent was impressed with the clips that he created. He just sent me a text saying that's the reason they signed him, because of those clips he went and created. So it works if you do the things I'm teaching you. Let's see. What's the number one mistake I see? Okay. The number one mistake I see in self-tapes. Oh, there's so many mistakes. Lighting is bad. Sound is bad. I got an audition the other day from this cutest little girl. She had great energy. She was adorable, but she was standing in front of her kitchen, which was a disaster behind her. And I literally found myself trying to figure out why her kitchen was such a mess. And what was that, a Cuisinart that she's using as a mixer? Oh, it's red, it matches mine. I stopped even paying attention to that girl. I was so fascinated with the kitchen. You do not want people deviating their eyes off of you onto your background, which is why we teach you to self-tape in front of a blank wall. My wall is really blank. I took down the mirror and my 2 Indian puppets from India, just so that you're not focusing on those things while I'm talking. And get some lighting, etc. Yes, a casting director, if your performance is outstanding, is going to notice that, but why make it harder for them? You want to try to make everything easier to be cast. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. If casting is looking at 3,000 submissions and they got 10 seconds to look at the 200 they choose to look at, make it so easy for them to watch your acting. You know, I was recently talking with an actor in New York who's talented, but he just spent the last, I don't know, 10 years wasting his energy and time doing all the wrong things. Doesn't have acting clips in his native language. There's so many things wrong with what he was doing. It was ridiculous. Doesn't have a commercial clip, doesn't have a comedy clip, doesn't have a theatrical clip. How in the hell are you going to get anywhere in this business if you don't have materials to show people what you can do? So create your own clips. Yes, obviously a footage from a movie is what you're going to use when you have that. You're not going to use self-created clips. This is just for the beginning of your career, just to get started, submitting yourself on student films, short films, web series, non-union features. You've got to have something, but it has to be good, not just something really good, something great. And I always tell people, coach before you post it. So find a scene, work on it with an acting coach, call Jack Turnbull, have him work on the scene with you, then put it on tape, then put it on Actors Access. Don't just put something up there. New actors always make these really stupid mistakes. They just put something up and they get excited. But, you know, just putting something up that's not great only tells people you're not good. So don't tell people that. Don't tell people that. All right, so let's see. Shooting from the blank wall. If you don't have, if you have a blank wall, paint it blue, green, gray, beige, whatever. If you there are online, Walmart, or look online for backdrops, camera kits at Walmart, Target, $100, lighting, a box lighting, get a tripod. If you don't have that, you can use a blue sheet. Just pull it taut and really make sure it's ironed. Every distraction that you put in front of the camera is a distraction from your performance, but it's also an indicator of how new you are, how green you are. It means you don't understand the business, that there's a lot of competition, and anything that makes you look like an amateur is a negative strike against you, and it means someone else is going to get the audition or the job. Your job as a new actor is to learn how this business works so you never look like an amateur. Because yes, you are an amateur, but don't broadcast it. It's like I said yesterday, I'm not going to hire an amateur surgeon to operate on my father. And as if I'm casting a movie and I'm spending my hard-earned money or the money I've raised on a movie, I'm not hiring an amateur to play a part. That's ridiculous. So anything you do that makes you look like an amateur just turns into a no for the opportunity for you. So if there's mistakes on your resume, it's a no. If there's mistakes on your online profiles, it's a no. If there's bad headshots and bad lighting, it's a no, because it makes you look like an amateur. We don't want amateurs. So everything I'm teaching you in the winner's circle is how not to be an amateur so that you can make a strong impression as a professional and then get opportunities. Right now, you're floundering around, not getting a lot of opportunities, you're not getting a lot of auditions, and you're wondering what's wrong. It's because you're looking like an amateur 99% of the time. Where should you look? Okay, first of all, what you should wear in a self-tape. I'm keeping notes so I make sure I cover what I want to say. No stripes, no busy patterns, no logos, no words on it. Nothing that takes away from you. Like I said, the focus should be on you. We shouldn't be reading your shirt. Where should you look in a self-tape? When it's a commercial, right at the camera. Minute Maid orange juice, blah, 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 blah. When my kids are sick, Campbell's chicken noodle soup. Always makes them feel better, and I know that it's good for them. Whatever, right to the camera. If it's a monologue, don't do it right to the camera. Come a little bit to the right of the lens and deliver your monologue to the right or the left of the lens. And if it's a scene and you have a reader over there, you should be engaging with another person. Really engage with that person and allow that person, when they say their lines, to really listen to what they're saying. I don't care if you've practiced it 65 times. Hear what that actor is saying and let it land on you and react. There should be space for your reactions in your self-tapes. It shouldn't just be you jumping, you're on your lines. So let's see, that's definitely what you got to do. Okay, practice self-taping. Here's a suggestion I give people in my consultations, and I will give it to you. Online, when you belong to Actors Access, you belong to Showfax. If you've paid the $68 that you can have unlimited submissions, then you have Showfax. Showfax is where you get sides. The sides are from all the TV shows that are being cast. Go there and download a new side every week. So on Monday, you wake up, you go download a side. You're going to work on that side that week as if you have an audition on Friday. As if you had an audition for that television show. So what does that mean? You're going to watch that show, because you should never audition for a show you haven't watched. So watch that show, get an idea of the tone, the feeling, the pace of how quickly or slowly people speak. Pay attention to what that show is about, the energy in the show. All right. Then you work on that script. That means don't start memorizing. Start answering questions about that. If you don't have a technique to break down scripts, take Amy Linden's toolbox online. She'll teach you techniques. Take on-camera classes, scene study classes. They will give you questions to learn how to ask questions about the script. Then start memorizing it. Then put yourself on tape. Then put that in a folder on your desktop, and at the end of the year, you should have 52 scenes that you've worked on. You really want to do that because you need to practice every single week as if you have an audition. If you're sitting around waiting for an audition and you're not doing that, okay, I'm not supposed to use derogatory words, but I just think, oh, okay, how do I say that? Well, that's really stupid. And you just might not know that you need to do that. And that's okay. You just might not know that. That's all. Now that you know that, if you don't do it, now you're stupid. Okay, now I'll say that. If you didn't ever hear that before in your life and you didn't know that, it's not stupid. It's just you didn't know. But now that you know, if you don't do it, it's stupid. So imagine, and this is why. Let's say you have an agent or you're submitting yourself and you don't have an audition for 6 weeks and you're whining and complaining about not having an audition and my agent doesn't get me out enough. And then you get a big audition for a series regular and you haven't been doing anything. You're not going to be really ready for that audition. Your nerves are going to get you. You're just going in the audition room on an adrenaline. You haven't been practicing. You haven't been warming up. You haven't been acting and you haven't been working that muscle. You're not ready. And so you're not likely going to go very far with that. While there's another actor who's been practicing every single day. They're going to go in there calm as cool as a cucumber. Calm, confident. They've been doing it every day. They're going to bang it out, and you're going to be like in the dust, right? It also is preparing you for when you do have 2 or 3 auditions a week, and you have to learn 3 different scripts a week. What about when you have 3 or 4 different characters in 2 days that you have to learn? When you're a working actor and you have 3 auditions in the same day for 3 different shows with 3 different lines and 3 different characters, are you prepared to really work in this business? There's different levels of work, right? There's screwing around and having fun and doing a couple indies here and there, and and then there's network television, serious working actors who have 6 auditions a week, sometimes 2 or 3 a day, have to have 2 or 3 different scripts going on in their head. Sometimes they're shooting, then they have an audition. It's a busy life for real actors who are working. Where are you getting that experience and that practice to prepare? At home, on your own, with scripts every single week, like a discipline. Discipline yourself when you're sick, when you're tired, when you don't feel like it, when you just got home from work. Because in the real world, you're going to get an audition right after you got home from work, or when you're sick, or when you're tired. And you're going to have to perform. So start being the actor that you want to be. Be the actor that you want to be now. Be that actor, because when the opportunity comes, you need to be ready if you really want the job. That make sense, people? Okay, let's talk about your headshots. Your first headshots do not need to be the most expensive headshots in the world. We touched on that a little bit yesterday. Don't go spending $1,000, $2,000 on headshots. That's ludicrous. New York is the only place where there's expensive headshots, but even then you can find $500 or $600. Some of you may be saying, holy shit, $500 or $600, that's a lot of money. This is a business, acting business, show business. There's no way to get through this without spending money. You have to spend money for training, coaching, headshots, online resumes, gas for your car, clothes for your auditions. I don't know, thousands of expenses, right? Headshot reproductions. There's so many expenses because it's a business. And if you don't want to spend the money on uploading pictures and headshots to your resume, to your Actors Access, if you're whining about $10, maybe you're not ready for this business. Okay, let's just be honest. It costs money. Workshops, showcases. So if you have headshots, if they're children, you're going to need them more frequently because those kids are always changing. They never look the same. Every 6 months, they look different. If you're an adult, you could get away with the same headshot for a year or 2. If the headshot is getting you auditions, you might keep it for 3 years. How do you know it's a good headshot? It gets you auditions. If it's not getting you auditions, swap it out and try headshots that do. No hands. Although you can see my beautiful jewelry. I love jewelry. I wear so much jewelry. But you don't want hands and headshots. Do you see how distracting that is? You see how distracting that is, hands? Don't have hands in headshots. A headshot is from your middle of your chest up, below your shoulders up, and that's all it should be. You don't need full body shots when you're trying to get a headshot. If you're putting up pictures on casting networks or LA Casting for your commercial agent, they're going to want a full body shot. And yeah, you might want to put one up there just so you can show people the shape of your body, but it's not required for a headshot. No distracting backgrounds again. Headshots, if you're in a small town outside of a main hub, you have wedding photographers. That's what mostly you have. People that shoot food for restaurants, or they shoot offices or real estate or open houses or portraits. They don't necessarily shoot headshots. And all of those people use props. That's part of their job, to use props. You don't want props in a headshot for acting. You don't want trees, bushes, cars, walls, anything like that. You want a blurred background to give it some 3D depth. That means the person's going to blur out the background and focus on you. They have to know how to do that. If they don't know how to do that, find a photographer that does. Or you can shoot in front of a blank background, like all blue, or all pink, or all purple, or all yellow. Don't stand right up against the wall, not when you're shooting headshots, not when you're doing self-tapes. Step 2 or 3 feet in front of the wall, otherwise the shadow will be on the wall. And also, you are holding up the wall in the picture, which takes away from you and what you're trying to express. Okay. Give a few different looks and moods. We drill down deep into defining your type inside the winner circle. We drill down deep in how to get great headshots and how to get headshots that pop. Because just taking, and many of you actors already figured this out. You've been taking headshots and you're just still not getting anywhere with them. You're not getting signed, you're not getting auditions, and you're on your third photo session because you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to bring what you need in front of the camera, and you're just trusting the photographer to take your picture. That's not how you do it. And if you're in the winner circle, you really learn. There's many videos about how to get the best headshots that will capture your type and bring out the energy that will pop to casting. So I highly recommend you join the winner circle for more detailed information. But overall, you want your headshots, you don't want them to look the same. The mistake is if you are posing in front of the camera in 4 different outfits, you're gonna have 2 expressions with 400 frames. That is not gonna help you go anywhere in this business. That's a waste of your money and a waste of your time. Waste of $400 or $500 and your makeup artist. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, so you wanna have different range of emotions. Serious, powerful, flirty, badass. Put on your outfit, go through different emotions. Take that outfit off, put on your outfit, go through different emotions. You want the headshot photographer to capture emotions, not poses. It's not modeling, it's acting. And acting is emotions. Acting is emoting. They should have called it emotion instead of acting. Emoting, they should have called it that, emoting. Because acting, people think acting is acting like you're doing something, you know, pretending. There's nothing, you are not pretending. You are truly, really feeling emotions. The people pretending are the special effects people, the green screen people. The only person not pretending is the actor. So I don't know why they call it acting. They should have called it emoting. Okay, so quick tip for men when you're shooting headshots, if you want to grow your beard out, then go into the session, shave it down halfway after, shave it down to like a little stubble, then shave it clean so that you get different looks during your session. Women, start your makeup off lighter at the beginning of your session, lighter, more natural, and then build your makeup up as you go along so that your heaviest look is at the end of your session. Okay, I hope that was very helpful. You know, my goal is to educate you and have you be ready to actually work. There's a big, big difference between wanting to be an actor and being an actor. There's a big difference in the skills that are required between when you're home thinking about being an actor and when you're on set and people are counting on you to be great. And you have to develop those skills. And it's your responsibility. They will find someone else if you don't have those skills. They will find someone else if your headshots are amateur. They'll find someone else if your acting clips are bad. So if you want to be successful, you have to take the right actions. And I'm very deeply into what the right actions are in the Hollywood Winner Circle. So if you're not taking the course, I highly suggest you start taking it and start taking your career seriously. So we can do a Q&A if you want. I can give you some more information. There's more detailed information inside the Winner Circle, like I told you. So if you really want to be a professional actor, take the course and learn what you really need to do. And I can answer some questions that you have here. Let's go and look and see. 126 comments. Okay, so I'm gonna just read through. You're welcome. For everybody who said thank you, you're welcome. Start with that. I painted my room wall gray, white, purchased a ring light, prepared 2 scenes, will be filmed next week. Yeah, ring lights, watch out for ring lights because they leave that little white thing in your eyes which can be distracting. You know, get a box light, that's probably better. Your off-camera reader should be an actor too. Good point. Rusty Myers, every time you tune in, you always have a good point. Don't let the off-camera reader be bad. It just distracts from your level of performance. Like if your mom's reading it and she's bad, or your dad, or your cousin, or brother. It's just bad. Get an actor who's good to read opposite you off camera. And if you can't find a reader, that's what Actor Trade app is all about. You know, download Actor Trade app to your phone today, right now, so you have it. Part of being successful in this business is being prepared when the opportunity hits you, being really prepared. So if you get an audition today, you should already have the coaches programmed into your phone. You should already have ActorTrade on your phone, the app, so that you can find a reader if you can't. Because ActorTrade has like this network of readers that are available anytime. And you volunteer to read for other people, they volunteer to read for you, and when you need a reader, you go on there and you get a reader. That is genius, because how many times are you in a situation where you need a reader and nobody's around? You know, you can't blow your audition because of that. Looking at getting new headshots, but having trouble with my type. Are there certain places that you recommend for feedback in that regard? Hold on. Damn nose. Posting in Facebook groups and, okay, so Hollywood Winners Circle. Well, I told you in the Hollywood Winners Circle to take the form. See, this is a perfect example of you not following my directions. So it always pisses me off when people don't follow my directions. Okay, if you want to be an actor, do what I say. Do what I say. So, including in the Hollywood Winners Circle, there's nowhere in my course that says post in the Hollywood Winners Circle to get your type. What it says is take the form that's in the Winners Circle and take it to a public location like a sporting event or a mall or a movie theater and ask perfect strangers to fill that form out, because you don't want people who know you to fill out that form. So Ian Griffin, why are you asking me, are there certain places to recommend for feedback in that regard when I clearly told you what to do in the course? So go do what I told you to do, and then you'll get the results that you want to have. Okay, let's see. Speaking about types and headshots, my rebel side is throwing me a curveball of headshots. Drug dealer, drug addict, punk, dress that way. Yes, dress that way. Get some of those headshots. Listen, you can play upscale, you can play punk. Natasha, I've seen all your tattoos. Get headshots that reflect your range of different characters that you play. You know, show your tattoos in some of them, and put on a button-down shirt for when you're doing business stuff, because you can do both, Natasha. What's in your package is what you have. People don't understand, not just about getting one picture. You probably understand this though, Natasha. It's not just about getting one picture. If the role says tattooed biker girl, that's when you use your tattooed biker picture, not your conservative business picture. If you only have one picture, and this is not to you, but actors, if you only have one picture, you can't use that one picture for a description of every role that you're looking at. So that's why you need to have 5, 7, 8, 9 headshots up on your Actors Access that reflect different types of your characters, different types that you play. It's not about putting 1 or 2 headshots up there and saying, I'm not getting enough auditions. It's about tailoring your submissions to match the descriptions of the auditions. Okay, what was that last part about makeup on headshots? I said women start lighter and then build heavier as you go on through the session. This info is amazing. You're welcome. How do you join the course? You can join the course at hollywoodwinnercircle.com/academy. hollywoodwinnercircle.com/academy. Tariq, oh, you miss me. This is so sweet. Okay. So let's see, for children, do they need professional shots when looking for representation? It depends on the age. If a child is 2 years old, they don't need professional shots. Or if they're 0 to 3, they don't need professional shots, or 4. But by 5, those kids are working in the business. There are 5-year-olds that are already in the business. You could start with snapshots that you've taken, but you're going to need professional shots. But what I teach parents, if you're really trying to get your kids in the business, get some professional shots done. No poses, no hats, no jewelry, no, just a headshot. Natural, friendly, sweet personality. Maybe they're quirky, high energy, big smiles, maybe a little serious. And get those headshots, create an Actors Access account for them, put up their resume, get them in a little improv class, have them do a little theater group, community theater class, and just get them started. But if you're going to agents and managers with kids, you don't always need professional headshots to start. The older they are, 10, 11, 12, you absolutely need professional headshots because all the other kids that age have them. Can we talk about lighting in the background for headshots and demo reels? We can talk about it. What's your question? Hello, Wendy. Thanks for good tips. You're welcome. I am a main deputy for a future film. Of course, it's unpaid, but it will be great video reel. You don't know if it'll be great video reel. I hear that comment so often. You don't know if it will be great video reel until you get it. Once you get it, you look at it and then determine if it's great video reel. If you are in the dark, it's not great video reel. If the other actor's being featured while you're talking, it's not great video reel. If it's from the side the whole time, it's not great video reel. You can't predict if the film is going to look good enough for your reel or your clips before you get it. Just because you have the role and you're shooting the project doesn't mean the clip is worthy of being on Actors Access. But it definitely goes on your resume. Emoting, not acting. Exactly. We're emoters. That's what we should have been called. Go out into the public. It's scary, but it's fun and informative. Exactly. That is why I gave it to you. It's scary. People are taking the easy way in the Hollywood Winner Circle and just posting there. That's not what the instruction was. No, 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 no. I'm just giving you some more opportunity to practice being in front of people and being vulnerable, because that's what acting is. When you enter an audition room, you have to be vulnerable in front of perfect strangers. If you don't have the confidence to go to a mall and hand out a piece of paper and ask people how they see you, how are you going to have the confidence to go in an audition and bare your soul? It all works together like a circle. All of it works together for your good. There's a method to my madness. Don't fight it, Ian. Go do the instructions as I gave it to you. Tailoring your submission, right, Peter? You're an agent. You know what I'm talking about. Use your phone, your actor trade. Should I buy another phone or tablet to use Actors Trade? Yeah, if you're recording your audition on your phone, you might need to do that. When should you create a profile on IMDb? Michael, when you're in a production that has an IMDb credit, a page for their production, they will add you to IMDb when you're working. But you can always create a vanity profile, which you can input your own resume, etc., and make sure you pay to have pictures up on there, or what good is it? Let's see. Welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. You learned a lot. Good, good, good. Please tell me about IMDb ratings. No, it doesn't matter in the slightest. Nobody looks at your IMDb ratings. That's only a way that IMDb makes more money, and just draws people's attention to it. Nobody cares. Agents and managers don't care what your IMDb rating is. They're just casting. Fair enough, you think? Yeah. All right. Looking for a writer for teen acting clips, original content. Do you have a suggestion? Yeah, there is a guy named, well, there's a thing called Quick Nickel. Quick Nickel. Robert Campbell. He writes scenes for actors. You can also pay a great company like Real Arc or Jig Reels. They write scenes for actors. Rusty Meyer says, ask them if you can have your raw footage. It's not shot on film and it's available immediately, and edit it yourself. If they'll give it to you, get it. You know, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Look in the camera for commercial, look left or right for the lens for scene work. Exactly. Okay, you guys. Any other questions you got? That's my information for you today. Thanks so much for joining me for day 3 of 5 steps to level up your acting career. There's obviously too much to pack in one live coaching call. I go into much more detail in this topics and all these topics inside the Winner Circle. So you can click at the link at the top of this Facebook Live to get into the Winner Circle and really develop your skills, your craft, your tools, package, become a professional actor, a working actor. And that's the fastest way I know how to become a professional working actor. It's the fastest way. Trust me, I've been in this business a long time, and that's why I created it, to take you from A to Z, like, much faster. So it's a comprehensive business of acting course, and you get exclusive access to me inside. Please stop texting me and emailing me and asking me questions. I'm not answering them anymore. It's just too many. It's just too many. I can't do that. I'm not going to look at your reels when you text me. I'm not going to look at your acting clips when you text me or DM me or any of that stuff. If you want my personal attention on your materials, if you want me to look at your headshots, your resumes, and your acting clips and make sure that your stuff is up to par, you need to be inside the Winner Circle, where I'm giving one-on-one direct attention to actors. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about getting more auditions by mastering your resume, how to master that resume so that you can get more auditions. Same time, 12 noon, or whatever time that is in your time zone. That's 12 noon Pacific time. You can click the event for a link and check your time zone. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. God bless you. Don't let anybody get in your way, as I always say, especially yourself, because you can be your own worst enemy or your best friend. All right, let me end this video, and then I'm going to go relax and binge watch the 9/11, if I can ever end this video. My computer's doing something weird. Let's see.